Hey guys, it's AlluringSimmer here, back with a new video. In this video, I'm doing another speed build, and for this speed build, we're actually doing a small little shop. So I recently saw like this advertisement for something to do with cheese, which sounds really weird, but I'm pretty sure it was just advertising like this like cheese brand. But there was like this cute little bakery in the thing, and I was thinking about all the stuff that we actually have in game that like would fit into a build. So it's a build inspired by that ad. Um, so yeah, it's kind of similar to the bakery in terms of like being a similar kind of build, but like the overall look is not really the same. It's really small, and I ended up making like when you download the build, it'll actually be like two of the same size building on the lot, but one is like completely empty and one is like my build that I'm doing right now. And basically, how I came up with that is either I'm eventually going to do another build that will go into the next building so that there will be like two shops or like two different kinds of builds on the same lot, or I'll leave it up to you guys to download on the gallery and then create your own shop. So you'll have like, or whatever you want to build on that lot. So you'll have my little shop and then whatever you decide to build on the other side, which just like adds more things to do on the one lot. Because I find that because there are so many like loading screens to get from like building to building, it's nice to have lots that like function for more than one thing so that your Sims don't have to constantly like leave each lot to go to another one. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. You can see I've been doing this thing with those flower pots that normally hang under the windows. I've been using them like on the ground as like regular flower pots because I feel like that looks nice, and it doesn't really look like it's meant to be only hanging on the window. Like it works on the ground as well. And then here I was just finding more things to decorate the outside with. As you can see, I chose um, it's not that big of a lot to do this build, but because the build is like really small, it like still makes it look kind of empty, which is why I ended up duplicating the build and like leaving it up to you guys to build what you want to. Um, so over here I had like concrete all over the place, so I originally wanted to just have some space where I could like put more flowers and stuff. So I broke it up by adding in some dirt and flowers in the middle, as you can see right there. So of course this build is super small, but I actually managed to fit everything I needed to in there, and I built a basement that was actually functional in this build. So it's kind of like a storage unit slash bathroom area for this build. Because whenever I do these kind of builds, I always find that I need to have a bathroom on the lot. Otherwise, it's kind of annoying when you go to a lot and like your Sims have to either go all the way home or you have to like go into build mode, and you know what I mean. So here I was like deciding what railings I wanted to use. Those ones looked really nice, but all the fences that were available were too big, so I ended up changing it out completely. I think I used quite a few items from like the hidden objects section, which you'll see later on, and I did use some custom content, but most of it is just like clutter items that aren't really necessary for you to download the build. They're just there to make it look more like what I want it to look like. And those are actually the first time I think I've ever used those lights, but I felt like they fit because they have like that rustic kind of feel, which is what I was going for. And I don't remember if I kept that half wall going all the way around. I think I ended up changing it out to counters, which you'll see right here. I was gonna keep it and have the counters in front, but I ended up changing that to just having the counters and no half walls there. And then here is kind of where I was trying to figure out how I want to arrange it so that like it wasn't blocking the stairs or anything. So I think what I ended up doing is just using a half counter at the end to make it work really well. And now is when I started to get more into like the by debug mode items, which is where I was just like looking for things that could fit into the build that aren't normally in the game unless you use a cheat. I think it's bb.show hidden objects or bb.show hidden objects on, something like that. and that's how you can get those extra items that you can use in your build that can actually do a lot in terms of adding to not necessarily gameplay, but just like adding more clutter items to your build without having to use custom content. On the outside, you notice how I've started doing this for like a few builds for like this month. I added in those jack-o'-lanterns because I kind of want to add like some themed in Halloween themes into my builds for this month because you know Halloween's coming up. So I just added those little jack-o'-lanterns to make it seem like this not really cafe, this little shop decorated for the Halloween season. I was gonna say Halloween season. Just they decorated their shop for Halloween. And now you can see I added in those like cobwebs there on the back. And then I added in that little shelving with the pots and like little containers and stuff because I felt it fit well. And this wall is kind of like a clutter wall. I was just trying to fill it up, making the build feel a bit more cozy, kind of like you're in your kitchen at home, but that's not really what it is. Um, so yeah, you can see there's obviously not a lot of space in here. In terms of functionality, it's not really a retail store, but to be honest, if you do download this build, you could totally turn it into one by just making those like little items on the side as something that like Sims can buy, or even adding like a little table or something with like different things that your Sims could buy. And this is more of like one of those builds where you can just kind of visit and like check it out, but it's not really like something for your Sims to do unless you make some of the items buyable. Or if you end up building another retail shop next to it, as I set up the build to do, then you can use that part as a retail area, and this area can just be somewhere for your Sims to like hang out and stuff. And we're getting somewhat close to the end of the build. We're mostly finishing up the main area right now, which is like this floor. You can see I'm just finding more things to decorate with, and that was like the main part of the build. The basement area was kind of, there were a few more things that I wanted to add that didn't really fit upstairs, and I also wanted to add a bathroom as I said before. So you can see that small little room is for the bathroom, and then oops, sorry, and then the bigger room is for like storage slash like functionality. It's actually going to end up being a kitchen area for your Sims to cook. So you can end up like turning this into a bakery if you wanted to, and using the bottom area to like make the baked goods, and then the top area to sell your baked goods. So yeah, I was just finding like little things to use to decorate, and here I was trying to find some storage. That a painting slash photograph is from like Show Hidden Objects, I believe. It's like something that you can collect either from the microscope or something else, and you can see I was like flipping back and forth between like indoors and outdoors trying to find where I wanted to place things. So at this point, like every area pretty much had what it needed. I was just like going back and forth, like adding in the final touches to each area in order to finish up the build. So this is where you can see I'm bringing in the kitchen area. So I have like the stove, a fridge, which ends up going on the other side because it just fit better over there. And I just think it turned out really nicely in the end. And yeah, you can see I just added that little thing above the stove just for decoration, and like a little milk jug with like a little milk carton next to it. And I was just trying to keep like this rustic kind of vibe throughout the build. Um, that globe looked really nice, but I wanted more seating area, so I ended up just removing it because I didn't really want to stick it in the corner. And yeah, so now we're definitely getting close to the end of the build. I will have screenshots at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you want to see more videos like this. Be sure to download this build off the gallery. My origin ID is at AlluringSimmer, and it's also in the description down below, so check that out. And I'll see you all in my next video, so thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.